Some TV, the pulse of the nation.
4 brand new tax reform laws have just been signed by Mr. President. Here's what you need to know.
So tax is money citizens and businesses pay to the government. It's how public schools, hospitals, roads and even security agencies get funded. So it's basically your contribution towards building your country. Let me say, let us all be good citizens and pay our taxes.
Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has now been renamed. It is now known as Nigerian Revenue Service.
Simple. But note, the implementation of all these new tax laws won't come into effect until the 1st of January 2026. So the government has a lot of time to plan and enlighten the people.
So yes, a new tax age dawns. And we hope all the savings will serve the people.
Good evening, viewers. You're welcome to the broadcast of news at 9 p.m. on SOM TV. Your only source for truth, clarity, and stories that matter. This is the pulse of the nation. Follow us on Facebook at SOM TV and catch our live stream on YouTube at SOM TV Live. Now let's take a look at tonight's top headline. The Taraba State Emergency Management Agency has commenced a 4-day intensive training program in Jalingo, aimed at enhancing disaster preparedness. The House of Representatives Committee on Public Petition on July 31, 2025, heard the case of Nsari Hassan Danladi, former Mumuye Youth President, who has been held by the DSS in detention for 4 years without trial. Fintiri hikes COP members' allowance to 30,000 naira and promises new NYC camp. Gombe government assures COP members of safety, welfare. International news. U.S. to deny visas to Palestinian officials. On business news. Trump raises tariff on Nigerian imports to 15% in fresh round of trade vows. Entertainment news. Manson again breakdown in tears, shares family struggle. Sport news. Victor Osimhen transfer statement hints at Chelsea reality as huge salary and bonuses revealed. And Bridget James announced the news in full. The Taraba State Emergency Management Agency has commenced a 4-day intensive training program in Jalingo, Taraba State, aimed at enhancing disaster preparedness and activating local emergency management committee across the state. The initiative is designed to strengthen the capacity of local communities to respond swiftly and effectively to both natural and human-induced emergencies. SOM TV correspondent has the details.
The Taraba State Emergency Management Agency has commenced the 4-day intensive training program in Jalingo, aimed at enhancing disaster preparedness and activating local emergency management committee across the state. The initiative is designed to strengthen the capacity of local communities to respond swiftly and effectively to both natural and human-induced emergencies. The Executive Secretary of SEMAN, Dr. Audu Echuse, welcomed participants to the event, acknowledging the critical support of the state government in advancing disaster risk reductions efforts. She explained that the activation of local committee would significantly improve grassroots coordination and emergency response. Dr. Echuse emphasized that the training is direct response to the rising frequency of disasters ranging from floods and fire outbreaks to communal conflicts and public health emergencies affecting communities across Taraba. She noted that it is essential to shift from reactive to proactive measures by building local capacity, establishing effective early warning system, and aligning with national disaster management framework.
I would like to express my appreciation to Almighty and His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Taraba State, in the person of Dr. Habu Keifas, for his unwavering support to SEMA. Your leadership and commitment to disaster risk reduction has been instrumental in driving our efforts forward. We gather today against the backdrop of increasingly frequent and severe natural disasters in our state, from fire outbreaks to windstorm, headers farmers crisis, health emergencies, and now floods. These challenges demand a robust framework to enhance our preparedness and response capabilities. The ultimate goal of disaster risk reduction is to safeguard our communities, protect our livelihood, and ensure a sustainable future.
Representing the state government, the Deputy Chief of Staff from T.Y. Danjuma House, Dr. Emmanuel Lawson, described the training as a strategic step towards making Taraba more resilient to disasters. He commended the agency's leadership for initiating the program and formally launched the local emergency management committees. He also unveiled disaster response equipment provided by the state government, underscoring the administration's commitment to safeguarding lives and property through preventive actions and community empowerment.
Today marks an important milestone in our collective journey towards enhancing resilience and preparedness in the face of natural disaster that increasingly challenge our communities. This workshop is not merely a gathering. It is indeed an essential step towards fostering a safer Taraba. A Taraba where each of us is equipped and empowered to respond to emergencies effectively.
Delivering a goodwill message, the Northeast Zonal Director of the National Emergency Management Agency, Mr. Suleiman Yakubu, urged participants to take full advantage of the training. He highlighted the value of the skills being imparted, stating that they would play a crucial role in reducing the impact of future disasters and enhancing the resilience of local communities. He encouraged participants to build lasting collaboration with SEMA as they implement what they've learned in their respective areas.
For the volunteers, beyond our reflective jackets and being here, is a very onerous task. We need commitment, we need dedication, and your reward is a level. Because nobody can pay you for what you do. Nobody can. The risk you engage yourself in. At times you are actually at risk to save people. You know, people also can know how to swim. You know, if you want to rescue someone that's about going drown, if you are not careful, you all be a victim. You also be a victim. I am a fisherman. I swim too, and I know what I'm talking about. So the task before us is onerous. Please, the platform being created for you can take you up to where level. But this can help they recruit. When NGOs recruit people that have reasonable knowledge of disaster management, they go to people that have the knowledge of the grassroots.
Participants at the training expressed appreciation for the initiative and called on the state government to sustain and expand its support for SEMA's programs, particularly in enriching remote and vulnerable communities. I am Lilian Yakubu reporting for Sun TV.
The House of Representatives Committee on Public Petition on July 31, 2025, had the case on Nsari Hassan Danladi, former Mumuye Youth President, who has been held by the DSS in detention for 4 years without trial, arrested in Jalingo, Taraba State. Danladi's continued detention persists despite a valid court order for his release. The DSS, represented by Assistant Director Legal Services Emmanuel Dambiri, admitted to the court order but claimed an ongoing case against Danladi, his wife, Caroline, and daughter Lapele. Current Mumuye Youth President Ezekiel Hedge attended the section. His lawyer, P.D. Pius, demanded proofs that Danladi is alive, as no one has been seen him or heard from him in 4 years. The committee directed the DSS to arrange a visit for Danlade's lawyer and family to confirm his status before the next hearing. Now,
Federal High Court, who initially authorized them to detain him for 90 days, asking that he be released. That is the import of the second order attached here, that they've refused to comply for the last 4 years.
We have transferred them to Wawa, and the Ministry of Justice is seized of the matter. We exhibited all the documents.
This is a letter from the Office of Director of Public Prosecution of the Federation intimating the Nigerian Army of resumption of hearing in Wawa Cantonment, sir. May I present it to the chairman for citing? Perhaps the petitioner is not privy to it, sir.
It's the opinion of this committee that this matter will be adjourned, and before the next adjourned date, you take the responsibility of taking them to go and see the petitioner, their client, where he is detained.
At least 700 victims of the recent flood disaster in Yola South local government area of Adamawa State have received emergency relief materials in a humanitarian intervention jointly facilitated by the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, and the All Progressive Congress Northeast Vice Chairman, Comrade Mustafa Saliu. Our correspondent, Ajama Yusuf, has the details.
At least 700 victims of the recent flood disaster in Yola South local government area of Adamawa State have received emergency relief materials in a humanitarian intervention jointly facilitated by National Secretary Advisor NSA, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, and All Progressive Congress APC Northeast Vice Chairman, Comrade Mustafa Salihu. The relief distribution, which took place in the worsened hit communities, made the first major coordinated effort to provide aid since the devastating flood struck last Sunday, causing loss of lives, displacement, and destructions of properties. According to the organizers, the first phase of the intervention targeted victims from several affected communities, following a verification exercise to ensure transparency and accountability. Speaking during the distributions, one of the coordinators, Mustafa Atiku Ribadu, disclosed that each beneficiary received a bag of rice, a carton of spaghetti, a carton of noodles, cooking oil, and cash sum of 10,000 naira. This is strictly humanitarian initiative supported by the NSA and Comrade Mustafa Salihu. While APC stakeholders facilitated it, the exercise is non-partisan, and all victims, irrespective of their political affiliations, are being considered, said Ribadu. He also noted that more support is on the way, following directives from Malam Nuhu Ribadu. The next phase will include the distribution of additional food items, clothing, medical supplies, mosquito nets, and other essential relief materials. Other APC stakeholders, including Mustafa Atiku Ribadu and Umar Marafa, also made personal contribution of 1 million naira each towards the relief efforts. The victims and local authorities are now calling on the government, non-governmental organizations, and philanthropists to build on the momentum and ensure continued support for affected communities. Ojama Yusuf, Som TV News, Yola.
One of the best governors has done it again. Governor Ahmadu Fintiri has increased the monthly allowance of National Youth Service Corps members serving in the state from 20,000 naira to 30,000 naira. The governor made the announcement on Friday at the swearing-in ceremony for the 2025 batch B Stream 1 Corps members held at the NYC Permanent Orientation Camp in Damare, Gire, local government area. As a government, we are committed to improving the welfare of Corps members. This increment aligns with our promise to create a friendly and supportive atmosphere for you. The governor stated. Fintiri also reaffirmed his administration's commitment to youth development and welfare, stating that the allowance hike complements ongoing support efforts such as regular food provision and other welfare initiatives. Speaking further, he disclosed that plans were at an advanced stage for the constructions of a new NYC orientation camp in the state. He directed the NYC State Coordinator to involve COP members with relevant qualifications such as architects, civil engineers, and quantity surveyors in supervising the projects. The ongoing nationwide strike by nurses, led by the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, has entered its second day, causing major disruptions in public hospitals. The strike follows unmet demands over poor pay and staff shortages and unsafe working conditions. The federal government is set to meet with the NAMNE leadership today to resolve the issue. Health Minister Professor Ali Patey assured of ongoing transparent negotiation. While compliance is high in federal institutions, state hospitals may join if no progress is made. The Taraba State chapter of NANM also addressed the press and all the like.
It's also an approval for the Ministry of Labor and Employment for the implementation of the National Industrial Policy 2025. This policy is essential for regulating the conduct of the various trade unions within the industrial relations space in the country. This is due to frequent.
A man identified as David Moses has confessed to the gruesome killing of a school nurse and a 14-month-old child at a school in the Danwake area of Abuja, blaming his actions on pressure from all alleged compliance named Sunday, who is currently at large. Moses, a security guard deployed to the school, made the confession while being interrogated by journalists at the Federal Capital Territory Police Command on Friday. He said he and Sunday had plans to kidnap the victims for ransom, initially demanding 250 million naira before settling for 3 million naira. What brought me here is that I killed a child with a nurse in Clear Hope School on July 23rd. Me and my friend, we demanded for 250 million naira ransom. Later on, we settled for 3 million naira, which we collected, he said. Following the appointment of Professor Nathaniel Goshen Yilwater as the new national chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress on July 24, 2025, party members across the country are optimistic that the new leadership would unify the party, strengthen its internal structure, and position it ahead of the 2027 general election. Kamal Hamajo reports from Gombe.
An APC stakeholder from Gombe, Barrister Abdullahi Jallow Kastik, has expressed confidence in the new leadership, describing it as a positive step that will consolidate the party's strength and ensure success in the upcoming polls.
As a party which I am a member, like the APC, you need to strategize. Strategize in the sense that you need to bring somebody who can deliver. We are not saying that Nigeria has not delivered, no, Ali Umar Jalori. Both of them have worked tirelessly to help the party. But this professor that has been recently on the helm of affairs is somebody who can take the party to the convention and then at the same time new leadership to emerge. And then that is to say, you can now carry on up to 2026, 27, because no party member wants his party to lose. So you always try to get somebody who can take the party to the greater heights. Normally, you look how you can put your house in order so that you can win the election. This is somebody who has the experience of INEC, who has the experience of doing an election preparations. Somebody who has the knowledge of what and where the vote will go in favor of APC. So I'm looking at it from the fact that this man is going to deliver and APC is going to sweep all the places where the by-election will take place.
He further stated that the use of religion in politics is becoming irrelevant in Nigerian democratic space, stating that Professor Yilwada is a leader who does not promote tribal or religion sentiments.
Our national chairman is untribalistic, not somebody who is beyond somebody to contend that he is a religious bigot and the rest of it. You see, in Nigeria today, you don't bring issue of the religion into politics because we are in the same country and our Christians have been held in a lot of positions from president downwards, i.e. Obasanjo, Jagatan, and the rest of them. You look at it from a clear cut of irresponsible thinking. Issue of religion is no longer a relevant yardstick for electing a person in Nigeria.
From Gombe, Kamal Hamadu, Sun TV News.
In a related development, the federal government has introduced the National Industrial Relation Policy to reduce recurring strike and enhance structured labor negotiations. Announced during an FCA meeting chaired by President Tinubu, the policy aimed to align Nigeria's labor system with global standards amidst ongoing disruptions in the health and education sector.
It's also an approval for the Ministry of Labor and Employment for the implementation of the National Industrial Policy 2025. This policy is essential for regulating the conduct of the various trade unions within the industrial relations space in the country. This is due to frequent industrial actions over the years caused by the lack of a comprehensive national policy. Now, FEC looked at that and came up with these policies, with this approval for this policy brought up by the Honorable Minister of Labor and Employment. The policy will ensure a seamless workflow, promote social dialogue and tripartite cooperation among government, employers, and workers, and also align Nigeria's industrial relations practices with global standards, including those set by the International Labour Organization, while underscoring the importance of maintaining industrial relations as a national priority that requires immediate and ongoing attention.
Gombe State Governor Muhammadu Yaya has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to safety and welfare of National Youth Service Corps members posted to the state, assuring them of a peaceful and enabling environment throughout their service year. Our correspondent reports that no fewer than 940 Corps members took the oath of allegiance, marking their formal admission into the mandatory 3-week orientation course. The governor made the pledge on Friday during the formal swearing-in ceremony of the 2025 Batch B Stream 1 Corps members held at the NYSC Temporary Orientation Camp. Government Science Technical College, Amanda, in Akko local government area. represented by the Commissioner for Youth and Sports Development, Chairman NYSC State Governing Board, Inuwa Ibrahim welcomed the COP members to the Jewel in the Savannah, and Governor Yaya described Gombe as a safe haven, stressing that his administration places high priority on youth development, peace, and security. We guarantee a conducive working environment for your activities and programs during your service year, he said. Let me assure you of our unwavering commitment to your welfare, security, and general well-being. The Nigerian Army has reported major gains in its ongoing nationwide operations against terrorist and criminal groups. According to a military source at Army headquarters, troops on Thursday neutralized several insurgents, apprehended 15 suspects, and recovered a cache of armed and military uniforms. The operations spanned multiple regions and were aimed at sustaining pressure on armed groups, threatening national stability. The source emphasized that troops were also securing recovered areas to prevent re-infiltration by hostile actors. Military analysts comment the sustained offensive as crucial in regaining control of volatile terrorists. The arm pledged continued collaboration with local communities and intelligence service to enhance results. Citizens have been urged to report suspicious activities. The recent developments affirm the military's resolve to restore peace amid ongoing security challenges in Nigeria's northern and central region. In a strategic turn of events, 5 people lost their lives on Thursday in 2 separate accidents along the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway in Lagos State. The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority confirmed the incident, adding that 5 others sustained various injuries. Emergency service responded swiftly, transporting survivors to nearby hospital for treatment. Preliminary investments suggest spreading and reckless driving as likely causes of the crashes. The authority emphasized the need for greater caution among motorists, especially along high-speed corridors. Traffic along the roads was temporarily disrupted, prompting intensified patrol and awareness campaign. The Lagos State government reiterated its commitment to road safety enforcement. This incident reflects a broader call for stricter traffic law compliance in Nigeria's major urban centers. The governor of Adamawa State, Amadu Fintiri, has gifted Super Falcon coach Justin Madugu a 3-bedroom bungalow and 50 million naira for leading the national women's football team to victory at the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations. According to a Facebook post by the governor's aide, Pius Ilya, the presentation was made at the government house in Yola, the state capital. Madugu, an indigene of Adamawa, was highly held by Fintiri for his role in the Falcon triumph at the tournament, which took place in Morocco earlier this year. Governor Ahmed Umaru Fintiri, on behalf of the government and people of Adamawa State, has gifted Justin Pwanidi Madugu, coach of Nigerian Super Falcon, a 3-bedroom bungalow and a sum of 50 million naira for leading the team into winning the 2024 Women African Cup of Nations that took place in Morocco this year. The gesture comes weeks after the Super Falcon clinched a record extending 10th WAFCON title, reaffirming their dominance in women's football on the continent. Police in Abia State have confirmed the death of a 51-year-old woman, Mrs. Emmanuel Love Onora, who passed away while abroad, a commercial tricycle in Aba. The tragic incident occurred on Tuesday but gained public attention after the victims photos circulated widely on social media. Identified by residents as Auntie Love, a well-known teacher, her sudden death has left the local communities in shock. Authorities stated that no foul play was immediately suspected and an autopsy is being conducted to determine the cause of death. The police have urged restraint in circulating unverified information online. The incident underscored the need for improved emergency response mechanism in public transport system. Mrs. Onora's passing has sparked tribute from former students and colleagues who remember her as a dedicated educator. Nigerian's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, has called for calm following social media-driven report of anti-Nigerian protests in Ghana. Addressing journalists in Accra after a joint briefing with Ghana's Foreign Minister, Samuel Ablakwa, she clarified that the viral video had misrepresented isolated incidents sent as a special envoy by President Tinubu. Odumegu Ojuo's fact-finding mission revealed no ongoing unrest. Both nations reaffirms their commitment to protecting citizens and sustaining peaceful relations. The ministers also advocated for reactivating the Nigerian-Ghana Joint Commission as a platform for deeper cooperation. Observers view the press conference as a proactive diplomatic move to prevent misinformation from straining bilateral ties. Citizens in both countries were urged to avoid incitement and to rely on verified information from official sources. The Nigerian Navy has dismantled 10 illegal oil refining sites in the Niger Delta during July operation. Under Operation Delta Sanity II, according to Navy Capt. Ikenna Okologo, commanding officer of Forward Operating Base Ekrovas, the operation targeted Obodo, Omadino, and Otekelo communities in Delta State. A total of 20,950 liters of stolen crude and 6,395 liters of illegally refined diesel were recovered from 92 dug-out pits, 60 polythene sacks, and 2 makeshift ovens. Acting on credible intelligence, the Navy emphasized its continued resolve to fight economic sabotage and safeguard national energy infrastructure. This development comes as part of Nigerians' broader efforts to combat oil theft and restore investor confidence in the petroleum sector. Residents were encouraged to report criminal activities to help curb resource losses. Oil marketers have expressed serious concern over Dangote Refinery proposed plan to directly distribute fuel to end users, warning it could disrupt the existing supply structure. Speaking at the Nongasa Annual General Meeting in Abuja, the group's president, Bernard Corey, urged President Tinubu to intervene. They advocated for refinery to work through independent marketers to avoid monopolistic control and potential job losses. Petron President Billy Gillis Harry echoed similar concern, noting that Dangote's CNG-powered fleet could further marginalize existing supply operators. Lawmakers present stated that the development would be reviewed for consistency with the Petroleum Industry Act. Industry stakeholders argue that while the refinery is a vital national asset, its market behavior must align with competition laws. The matter is expected to spark regulatory review in the coming months. UNICEF has donated 3,700 mama kits to pregnant women in Borno State to promote safe deliveries and reduce maternal and neonatal deaths. The initiative was launched in Maiduguri by Francis Busiku, Chief of UNICEF Field Office, covering 13 high-risk local government areas. Busiku noted that Borno still experiences high maternal mortality rate, exacerbated by limited access to healthcare services. The Mama Kit contained essential delivery items, including gloves, disinfectants, and baby blankets, aiming to ensure hygienic and safe childbirth. UNICEF called on local health authorities and community leaders to support the program's reach and sustainability. The intervention aligned with global maternal health goals and is part of ongoing humanitarian efforts to conflict-affected parts of Nigeria. Health officials welcomed the support and pledged to strengthen maternal care delivery at the primary level. As part of its renewed Hope Housing campaign, the federal government has directed the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria to work closely with state governments on viable housing initiative. Speaking at the African International Housing Show in Abuja, Housing Minister Ahmed Dangiwa, through his media advisor, emphasized the urgency of bridging the national housing deficit. Shehu Osidi added that the bank's undercapitalization remains a major barrier to delivering large-scale, affordable housing. He called for recapitalization to enable long-term mortgage solutions for low and middle-income earners. The collaboration aimed to harmonize federal and state efforts, leverage private sector partnership, and expand access to home ownership, and stakeholders agreed that a coordinated approach is vital to solving Nigerians' urban housing crisis. The Benue State chapter of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association has raised alarm over the loss of 340 cows in July, allegedly rustled by youth in Angwan 2 communities. The group said the incident also spilled into areas bordering Kogi State. However, Benue government officials disputed the narrative, stating that some cattle were only impounded after damaging farmlands and were returned upon compensation. Miyetti Allah is urging immediate government investigation and compensation for affected herders and warning that unresolved tension could escalate. Agatu local government chairman confirmed the security breaches and called for deeper probes. The report comes amidst persistent conflict over the grazing rights and enforcement of anti-open grazing law in the state. The community leaders have appealed for dialogue and mutual respect to prevent further conflict. The Director General of the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Person of Binta Adamu Bello on Friday called for more collaborative efforts, particularly from the members of the public, for an increased crackdown on human traffickers across Ogun State and the country as a whole. The Director General, who was represented by the NAPTIV Commander Ogun State, Bosede Jimo, met this call on Friday while leading others stakeholders, including the members of security agencies such as the police, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the Federal Road Safety Corps, and the non-governmental organization, among others, in sensitization work around Abeokuta metropolis to mark this year World Day Against Trafficking in Person. The Abeokuta sensitization work was held in conjunction with Ogun State Task Force on Human Trafficking, the International Center for Migration Policy Development, as well as NAPTIV. Ogun State Command. Some of the places touched during the sensitization work were Kuto, Isabo, Sabon, Itoku, and Lefenwa Market. Bello said that the theme of this year's celebration is Human Trafficking is Organized crime and the exploitation, and that everyone must rise up to support the government to dismantle the network of traffickers and equally hold the perpetrators accountable for their wickedness against humanity. She stated that within the last 2 years that NAPTIF began operation in the state, it has handled over 50 cases of human trafficking, secured 3 victims against perpetrators, while 7 cases are still pending before the court, with many more cases currently under investigation. The NAPTIF DG stated that the truth is that Ogun is one of the endemic states in terms of human trafficking based on the number of cases that we have received since we came on board in the state in August 2023. Controller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Kemi Nabdab, has said the agency is strengthening border security through advanced technology. Speaking at the Government Citizen Engagement Forum in Kaduna, she noted that the newly deployed border management system uses interactive passengers' data to profile travelers before arrival. Boosting national security, she also emphasized the importance of engaging border communication in the ongoing recruitment exercise to enhance intelligence gathering over 30 border control posts, mainly in North. They are also being used to register migrants entering from ECOWAS country. The Code of Conduct Bureau in Jigawa State has launched a digital asset declaration platform for civil servants and political appointees to streamline the process and promote transparency. State Director Abubakar Bello, during a visit to the head of civil service, Mohammed Dangari, said the system enables users to declare assets remotely and enhance verification for anti-corruption efforts. The GACI pledged support for the initiative, noting that compliance is constitutionally mandated and the key to accountability in public service. The Bureau urged public owners to embrace the new system, assuring technical support during the transition. A former Minister of Education and Chief Executive Officer of Human Capital African, Dr. Obe Ezewesili, on Thursday knocked the National Assembly over its ongoing constitutional amendment efforts, which she described as a charade and a conduct pipe to waste public funds. Ezewesili lamented that Nigeria's political space, along with much of Africans, has been hijacked by what she called a criminal enterprise gang that now dictates the directions of governance in their interests. While the welfare of larger populace suffers, the former minister stated this on Thursday in her keynote address titled Reworking Nigerian's Federalism, Perspective on Restructuring and Fiscal Federalism, diverted at the 7th Pushing Anniversary and Annual Lecture in Abeokuta, Ogun State. She argued that instead of heeding widespread demands for a new constitution capable of correcting imbalance and inequalities in the current system, the National Assembly chose to pursue a process that could yield title or no meaningful chance. The Deputy Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mojisola Merenda, has paid tributes to the late Victor Akande, describing him as a symbol of justice and community service. In a statement shared via her official X handle on Friday, Merenda expressed deep sorrow over the passing of the former lawmaker who represented Ojo Constituency 1 in the Assembly from 2015 to 2023. Today, I pause in heartfelt sorrow to honor the memory of Honorable Victor Oluwasegun Akande, former member of the Lagos State House of Assembly representing Ojo Constituency 1. She wrote that Miranda highlighted Akande's role as chairman of the Assembly Committee on Justice, Human Rights, Public Petitions, and LASIEG during his time in office, noting that his contribution reflected a deep commitment to justice, integrity, and well-being of Lagosians. She extended her condolences to his family, friends, and constituents, praying for strength and comfort for them during this period of mourning. Though he is no longer with us, his legacy of public service, advocacy for justice, and unwavering dedication to community will ensure may his soul rest in perfect peace. Even as we ask that his family receive the fortitude to bear this great loss, the Deputy Speaker added. We'll take a short break now, but there is much more ahead right here on Psalm TV. Please don't go away.
Are you stuck in Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing Supercab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds. Safe, fast, and affordable. Visit www.supercab.com.ng or download the Supercab app today. Supercab, your ride, your way.
Welcome back. We're glad you're still here. Coming up next are the international business, sports, and entertainment news. On the international news, the U.S. says it is going to impose sanctions on the Palestinians self-governance organization as well as body that represents it on the international stage. The sanctions affect both the Palestinian Authority, which was established by the Oslo Peace Accord, and the Palestine Liberation Organization, which was recognized after the same process as the official representation of the Palestinians people in return for its recognizing Israel and renouncing violence. The State Department said it will deny visas to PLO members and PA officials. The timing and language of the statement suggests it is the Trump administration response to his weak French-Saudi-led conference at the United Nations held to rally support for a future two-state solution. The meeting came as France, the UK, and Canada committed to reorganizing and independence the demilitarized Palestinian state later this year. In some cases, subject to certain conditions, the U.S. castigated these moves, having privately warned of diplomatic consequences if those attending the UN conference met anti-Israel declaration. In its sanction announcement, the State Department accused the PA and PLO of taking action to international its conflict with Israel, such as through the International Criminal Court and International Court of Justice. It also referred to a series of long-standing complaints by the U.S. and Israel that the PLO and PA had continued to support terrorism, including incitement and glorification of violence, especially in textbooks, and providing payments and benefits in support of terrorism to Palestinians, terrorists, and their families. Of all history's declaration about the Middle East, one that may be less prominent in the global collective memory was in Tokyo in November 2023. Then U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has laid out a series of principles for the day after. the war in Gaza at the meeting of the G7, a group of the world's most powerful countries. He traveled there from Tel Aviv after meeting Israel leadership a month after the Hamas attack on October 7th during the ensuring Israeli offensive on Gaza. Blinken listed what amounted to U.S. conditions for Israel's military objectives and the wider conflict: no forcible displacement of Palestinians, no Israeli reoccupation of Gaza after the war ends, no attempt to blockade or besiege Gaza, a future governance that must be Palestinian-led, involving the internationally backed Palestinian Authority, no role for Hamas. The principles were intended to generate support from Americans' allies in Europe and part of the Arab world, even if Israel objected to many of them. Few probably remembers Blinken's declaring his "Take Your Principle," a list of all the Trump administration, which immediately just stoned them. But the ideas are still supported by many U.S. allies who traveled to the United Nations in New York this week for a French-Saudi-led conference calling for a rekindling of the two-state solution. On business news, Nigerian exports to the United States will now attract a 15% tariff following the signing of July 31st executive order by U.S. President Donald Trump, which modified Americans' reciprocal tariff system. The new tariff, which will take effect from August 7th, formally placed Nigerians among about 40 countries penalized for having what Washington considers an unbalanced trade relationship with the U.S. Trump had formally imposed a 14% tariff on Nigerians' imports in April as part of a spate of tariff strikes expected to boost U.S. manufacturing and punish other countries for what he called years of unfair trade practices. The duties were suspended for 90 days and extended for another 1 month to allow negotiations. Nigeria did not, under the new structure, countries with which the U.S. has a trade deficit will now face a default 15% duty on all goods entering American borders, while nations with a U.S. trade surplus, by contrast, will pay a lower 10%. The latest data shows Nigeria is the second largest U.S. export destination in sub-Saharan Africa, with a trade surplus of up to $3.29 billion with the U.S. According to the Observatory of Economic Complexity, Trump executive order says tariffs are being rebalanced to restore fairness and prevent what the administration called systematic trade abuse. In addition to the reciprocal tariff, the new trade policy established a 40% additional penalty on transshipment goods that are shipped from a high tariff country to a low tariff country and then reshipped to the United States. While such rerouting is often used to manage logistic or cost, U.S. authorities have increasingly flagged transshipment as a tactic to evade traffic. On entertainment news, the emotional moment in the Big Brother Naija Season 10 keeps coming in, with Mensah being the latest housemate to break down in tears during his diary section with Biggie on Thursday. Mensah became overwhelmed with emotions, shedding tears as he discussed the pressure he feels to support his family. The Big Brother Naija housemate expressed his longing for a father figure and his desire to be a pillar of strength to his family. I've always wanted a father figure in my life. I'm not just here for myself. I just want to get to a point where I am the one that can carry the family, like they want me to carry the family, he said amid tears. Biggie responded with words of comfort and encouragement. Wipe your tears because diamonds are unbreakable. Biggie said Manson also mentioned feeling awkward speaking English with a male housemate, describing the situation as just vibe. The emotional display has quickly spread across social media, prompting a wide range of reaction. Singer Magix has claimed that streaming firms are responsible for decline in the number of breakout artists in Nigerian music industry in recent years. He alleged that most of the sports on music charts and streaming platforms have been bought and making it difficult for upcoming artists to gain attention on charts. On his X handle, he wrote, "Just so you all know, the reason why we don't have enough breakout artists these days is because almost every sport on Apple Music is bought." On sport news, after months of speculation linking him with a summer move to Chelsea, Victor Osimhen has found a new permanent home. Enzo Maresca's side, they are linked with signing Osimhen, 26, from Napoli after he enjoyed a fruitful loan spell at Galatasaray last season. The Nigerian international scored 37 goals in 41 appearances for the Super League side before returning to Napoli this summer. Manchester United and Arsenal were among the others that had been credited with an interest in Osimhen, but he has now decided to return to Galatasaray. Indeed, the Turkish outfit confirmed in a statement on Thursday that he has made the move back to the club. He spent the 2024-2025 season for a net fee worth €65 million. The forward has obtained a 4-year deal, which is expected to run until the end of the 2028-2029 season. Also included in deal is a 10% sell-on clause in the event of a future sale. Osimhen is set to earn €13 million per year in Istanbul, a figure that is equivalent to around €250 per week. He is also expected to pocket €870,000 as part of a signing bonus following his return to Galatasaray. It remains to be seen if Chelsea still have Osimhen on their radar for a potential move in the future after he signed for Galatasaray. But the sell-on clause inserted by Napoli is expected to raise the price and set by Galatasaray, adding to the fact that Osimhen is set to earn a sizable amount per week at Galatasaray. It could surrender a possible move due to Chelsea's new wage structure. Only Raheem Sterling earns more per week than what Osimhen does right now, with the ex-Liverpool man pocketing a staggering €350,000 each 7 days. And that's where we wrap up tonight's broadcast. But before we go, a quick recap of our top stories. We said the Taraba State Emergency Management Agency has commenced a 4-day intensive training program in Jalingo, Taraba State, which aims at enhancing disaster preparedness. On the House of Representatives Committee on Public Petitions on July 31, 2025, heard the case of Nsari Hassan Danladi, former Mumuye Youth President, who has been held by the DSS in detention for 4 years without trial. Adamawa State Governor Amadou Fintiri has increased the monthly allowance of National Youth Service Corps members serving in the state from 20,000 naira to 30,000 naira. The ongoing nationwide strike by nurses, led by National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, has entered its second day, causing major disruption in public hospitals. On international news, we said the U.S. is going to impose sanctions on Palestinian self-governance organization as well as the body that represent it on international stage. And on business, we said Nigerian exports to the United States will now attract a 50% tariff following the signing of July 31st executive order by U.S. President Donald Trump, which modified Americans' reciprocal tariff system. And on entertainment, we said the emotional moment in Big Brother House Season 10 keeps coming in, with Manson being the latest housemate to break down in tears. And finally on sports, after months of speculation linking him with a summer move to Chelsea, Victor Osimhen has found a new permanent home. Stay with us for more insightful program and timely updates on Som TV. I'm Bridget James. Thank you for joining us. From all of us here, I'm wishing you peace, progress, and love. Good night.
Are you stuck in Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing Supercab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds. Safe, fast and affordable. Visit www.supercab.com.ng or download the Supercab app today. Supercab, your ride, your way.